I think we're at an exciting point in the stock market where the Magnificent Seven are going to determine the direction of the stock market. We already have one of the Magnificent Seven in, and it's a pleasant surprise. Tesla came out with surprising results. Now, I don't think the election is going to make that much difference, because half the country will love the result and half the country will hate the result, and so they cancel each other out. The main negative will be is if there's no clear winner, which will leave the stock market in a state of befuddlement, and the stock market hates uncertainty. Otherwise, I think the main driver, even in the case of there being no clear winner, I think the main driver is going to be the Magnificent Seven. And we already have one winner in, and that winner is Tesla, with a very surprisingly positive result. You can think of the stock market right now as being like the World Series, and it's so convenient that this is happening in the fall during the World Series, because the seven Magnificent Seven, I view them like games in the World Series. How much are we up on the stock market, and how much are we down? And we just won the first game of the World Series with Tesla. Wall Street braces for a big week ahead of the election with MEGACAP tech earnings and key data on tap. Wall Street is about to get hit with the newsiest week yet ahead of the election, just as the stock market has started to falter. Investors will contend with earnings results from 5 of the Magnificent Seven companies next week. Alphabet, otherwise known as Google, results are set to be released Tuesday. Microsoft and Meta post their reports Wednesday. Results from Amazon and Apple come out Thursday. Wow. On top of that, there are important data releases on the docket, including a jobs report, inflation data, and a preliminary reading on third quarter gross domestic product. All the data on inflation and the gross domestic product and even jobs have been mostly positive. So I don't think that's to worry. I think it's all with the earnings. And the only one of the Magnificent Seven that will not have reported by the end of next week is NVIDIA, which has been doing extremely well in the stock market. Looking at why Tesla stock did so wonderful, Tesla stock soars 22% for best day in over a decade on Musk's 2025 growth projection. Tesla shares soared 22% on Thursday, the best day in 11 years, following a better-than-expected earnings report. The company's profit margin in the third quarter were boosted by $739 million in revenue for environmental regulatory credits. And that will probably increase as the other companies are losing money on every EV that they make, and so they will probably make less, and so they will need more regulatory credits from Tesla. And so that figure of $739 million, that's probably going to go up to $1 billion in subsequent quarters. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said his best guess is that the vehicle growth will reach 20 to 30% next year. That prediction was ahead of the 15% expected by analysts surveyed by FactSet. I think the other companies are getting out of EV production, which leaves more room for Elon. And I think he's been so brilliant building companies in Europe and in China, because if tariffs are imposed, he's completely solved that problem. He won't be affected by tariffs whatsoever. And Tesla continued to do well on Friday as Tesla shares closed at highest in 13 months as post-earnings rally continues. Following Tesla's best day on the market since 2013, the stock rose more than 3% on Friday, closing at its highest since September of last year. The two-day pop comes after the company reported better than expected earnings, and CEO Elon Musk offered an optimistic projection for 2025. However, Tesla shares are still 34% below their 2021 record, and it still has not come close to where I got out of it. So I think about it, but I Right now, I think I'm playing this Magnificent Seven with the Qs and the T triple Q. And right now, I'm playing the Magnificent Seven mainly by being in the triple Q, which the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ, and the T triple Q, which is the bullish triple leveraged ETF on the QQQ. With oil prices being in the low 70s, I think the economy is going to be up, and I think inflation is going to be down, so that's not to worry about. I love all the Magnificent Seven companies and stocks, and so I play the QQQ and the T triple Q, and I've been playing the T triple Q especially. I usually just day trade with it, but lately I left it on since Wednesday, and that was a very good move on my part. So I benefit from leaving it on a couple of days at a time rather than just strictly day trading it. But the QQQ is usually a good safe choice and is more to be utilized for the average investor. I'm very used to trading the T triple Q and have made a lot of money with it, and so that's always my bias. But the QQQ's relative strength is 59%, so it's not overbought in the least, and it's made 6.9% in the last 3 months. The T triple Q has made 18%. Isn't exactly like the 24%, which it should be, simply because it resets its value every day. And so you do get some somewhat less than a triple advantage with it. But when the stock market is rocking and rolling, it's the way to make money for me anyway. Vertiv Holdings, symbol VRT, is one of my favorite stocks, and they recently reported good earnings. Vertiv reports strong third quarter 2024 results and raises full year guidance. Net sales of over $2 million, 19% higher than the third quarter 2023. Operating profit of $372 million, up 48% from the third quarter 2023. And adjusted operating profit of $417 million, up 41% from third quarter 2023. Wow. Vertiv makes cooling equipment for data centers mainly. Their strong third quarter trailing 12-month organic orders were up minus 37% compared to the prior year. Third quarter organic orders growth of minus 17 versus the prior year. So they must be getting brand new orders rather than getting orders from customers they already have. Adjusted operating margin of 20%, up 310 basis points compared to third quarter 2023. Diluted earnings per share of 46 cents and adjusted diluted earnings per share of 76 cents, above the high end of prior guidance. Operating cash flow of $375 million and adjusted free cash flow of $336 million in third quarter 2024. Net leverage of 1.4 at the end of third quarter 2024. They raised the full year 2024 guidance across all financial metrics. 2025 organic sales growth expected to accelerate from 14% in 2024. So their organic sales in the future are expected to grow, so that's good. Vertiv Holdings has done wonderfully in the last 3 months, as it has made over 42%, and its relative strength is 64, so it's not overbought at all. And I expect to continue to have good results from this stock. And as we now know, it's all about the Magnificent Seven, and the NASDAQ is where they live. The NASDAQ rises to hit new all-time high Friday as the rest of the market languishes. The NASDAQ composite climbed to an all-time high on Friday, boosted by mega-cap tech stock. The tech-heavy index rose 0.56% to over 18,500, while the S&P 500 inched 0.03 lower to end at about 5,800. The Dow Jones Industrial Average shed 260 points, or 0.61%, to close at 42,114. Part of the reason the stock market is doing well is because NVIDIA has come alive once again. And NVIDIA overtakes Apple as world's most valuable company, at least for a while. They kind of go neck and neck. NVIDIA dethroned Apple as the world's most valuable company on Friday, following a record-setting rally in the stock, powered by insatiable demand for specialized artificial intelligence chips. NVIDIA's stock market value briefly touched $3.53 trillion, slightly above Apple's $3.52 trillion, data showed. So they're just neck and neck with each other. And looking at the chart, you can see it's really come alive in October, and it's made 26% in the last 3 months, which is very good, with a relative strength of 65. It is interesting that NVIDIA is going to partner with India to supply chips to tech companies. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, in a fireside chat with Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani, discussed why India is poised to build an AI empire. He highlighted the country's potential to export AI innovations rather than Indian workers being displaced by the technology. I have strongly invested in Taiwan Semiconductor, whose symbol is TSM. They keep calling it TSMC, and I don't know why, because that is not a stock symbol. It's TSM. But they've built a chip factory near Phoenix, Arizona, and there's having good luck with it, and there's more to come. TSM Arizona chip production yields surpassed Taiwan's in a win for a U.S. push. Production yields in Arizona are 4 percentage points higher. The Phoenix plant began trial production earlier this year. Taiwan Semiconductor has achieved early production yields at its first plant in Arizona that surpassed similar factories back home, a significant breakthrough for a U.S. expansion project initially dogged by delays and worker strife. TSM's facility in Phoenix that are usable is about 4 percentage points higher than comparable facilities in Taiwan. The president of TSM U.S. division told listeners on a webinar Wednesday, according to a person who participated. The success rate or yield is a critical measure in the semiconductor industry because it determines whether companies will be able to cover the enormous cost of a chip plant. The accomplishment is a sign of progress for Washington's efforts to revitalize American semiconductor manufacturing. TSM, the main chip manufacturing partner for NVIDIA and Apple, is in line to win $6.6 billion in government grants and $5 billion in loans, plus 25% tax credits to build these 3 fabrication facilities or fabs in Arizona. The award, like almost all others from the 2022 Chips and Sciences Act, isn't yet finalized. There's no way they can lose on this deal. The big deal next week is 5 of the 7 Magnificent 7 report earnings next week. It's Google on Tuesday, Microsoft and Meta on Wednesday, and Amazon and Apple on Thursday. Should be exciting. Be sure to tune back in to see how this all panned out.